high above the turmoil of a workaday world. Tucked away comfortably in the lap of the Canadian Rockies, there is a spot called Maligne Lake, a liquid gem serenely nestling in a setting of snow-capped peaks. 200 miles or so distant, Old Man Mountain gazes at the sky, while below him hundreds of mortals make pilgrimages to Jasper Park to drink of the charm of Maligne's bejeweled waters. To the beckoning comforts of Jasper Park Lodge they come, and from it they depart on horseback to explore a veritable treasure chest of nature, where sun and stars and sky and lake swirl together in the shadow of majestic mountains. This would seem to indicate that even horse sense has its weak moments. It is approximately 2 days' journey from the lodge to the shimmering gem that is Maligne Lake, a journey accomplished on sure-footed ponies. The riding party is equipped with pack horses to transport all the necessities of the trip, and expert mountain guides form the vanguard as the trail is struck. A tight grip on the rein, a deep lungful of tonic-like ozone, and you begin to wonder why they ever invented streetcars, smokestacks, Empress Eugenie hats, or insurance premiums. All the way along, the trail is punctuated with wonderful sights. Here the Maligne River leaps along its course. And there, from a conveniently placed footbridge, one may view the roaring stream far below in the gloomy depths of Maligne Canyon, rushing through its rocky prison like foamy demons on some ill-mission bent. The massive walls of the mighty chasm, cleft as though by one fell stroke of a giant swordsman, rise in somber glory hundreds of feet above the lashing waters to complete the picture of awe-inspiring majesty. Is it any wonder that the Indians and early traders knew it as Maligne, which means wicked? Along the canyon, weird potholes and all manners of oddly shaped rock formations provide a striking example of nature's carving, with the rushing water as her instrument and with uncounted centuries in which to perform her sculpture. Every change in the elevation of the rolling land affords a distinctly different vista, each eye-filling, each soul-stirring. The fellow who sang, "Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning," most certainly can never have trod this ground. Sleeping may be one thing, but eating is entirely another. For while the eyes may feast upon the glories of Medicine Lake, the inner man calls insistently. A halt is ordered, and so is the food. Mother Nature made us all alike so far as lunch is concerned, as may be readily gathered from the munching actions of these specimens of wild life with which the country abounds. Aren't they cute? And this little deer, like most little deers, has an appetite for curiosity. Bearskin coats are all very neat, but when they're animated, well, thereby hangs two tails. Nice little fellows, aren't they? But then they're young and innocent and aren't disposed to show the distrust which Mother Bruin apparently is displaying. Maybe she can't bear the thought of such goings-on, as her precious offsprings cavort gingerly with a cowboy. As the lake is neared, the Maligne River broadens into the proportions of a stately stream, although there are specific fording places to permit of an easy passage from bank to bank. It's a regular horse ferry, and now there are no more rivers to cross. Like a fiery liquid opal flashing in a valley of giants, Maligne Lake spreads out before the band of pilgrims who come to do it homage. Arriving at the chalet, they are immediately cast under the spell which this handicraft of nature ever weaves about its beholders. And the horses, too, weary from the arduous trek, are glad of the brief respite. The atmosphere fairly tingles with silence. A motorboat serves to convey the party across the bosom of the glistening lake. On every side tower great peaks, silver gray, tawny, or snow-crowned. A noble company of Titans lifting their heads high into the blue, on whose sides hang glaciers dazzling white, sweeping down to masses of green forest at the water's edge. It is this massing of effects that distinguishes this region from all others. For leagues around, the eye is met with crags and peaks and vales. The lake itself, a shimmering jewel in rock-hewn setting, throughout the ages unscathed by the hand of man, its glory preserved as on the first day. As one regards these massive creations of the great architect, there comes to mind a very similar picture of the snow-gowned Fujiyama, the holy mount of Japan, and one does not find it difficult to understand why for centuries those who have lived within its shadows have bowed down and worshipped in token of their faith, awed by its regal splendor. To look at the rugged peaks is as though to gaze dreamily into the glowing coals of one's fireplace at home, where the imagination revels and ranges in complete repose. As the Narrows are approached, the boat's prow is headed once again for the shore, and once again for a meal. This time there is a touch of history about the lunch, as it is being prepared beside an Indian teepee. A glance at the array of peaks hurling their heads to the heavens suggests a possible origin of the design of those peculiar Indian abodes. Man's faculty for imitating, though some cynics will contend that this is a character peculiar to the weaker sex, is to be found in numerous walks of life. Why not then conclude that the early tribes of redskins had nothing else in mind but the mountains which they revered when the first teepee was erected? And having feasted on the beauties of Malin, we resume our scenic banquet, ever spiced with treats of varying degrees. Odd creatures these seem at first. High up in these enthralling lands, one naturally would expect queer names like ornithorhynchus or platypus or something, but they're merely mountain sheep. The trail winds high along the slopes of Shovel Pass, where great mountains slope down like a sweeping symphony of shrill trumpet tones and lute-like wood. The pass itself commands but little attention, for compared to its neighbors, myriad sun-spangled peaks, ice fields gleaming brilliantly white, and glacier-hewn crags, it is relatively uninteresting. But remember, it is Shovel Pass, and after all, a spade is a spade. And finally, the observation point is reached. From the lofty lookout, one secures a superb panorama of a virgin Canada, a veritable heaving landscape gouged and carved eons ago by the action of relentless glaciers. Wrapped up in the stout hearts of these mountains and rivers and lakes and forests is the riddle of the universe. The final goal is reached, and we survey a grand countryside. The sun dips down, dusk draws its cloak about, star lamps are lighted, and nature sleeps.